definitely wasn't planning on buying a Bronco, or any other Ford for that matter. I had a Chevy Colorado ZR2 on back order in 2023, and since the workers in that Missouri plant went on strike, well, I had to pivot. I saw this Bronco Heritage Limited series start showing up on local dealer lots while shopping for a car for my friend around California, and I begrudgingly checked one out. Now, to be perfectly honest, when I first set my eyes on this car, I immediately thought, wow, this is 100% a car combo that ends up being either your girlfriend's or your wife's ride. And after checking out all the different options, I decided I wanted one, but wasn't willing to pay the $20,000 markup since it was a limited edition with low numbers made. After negotiating with a dealer willing to sell me one without a markup, I picked it up same day as one of their special order clients had followed through. I always get a lot of questions about every one of the accessories on here, so I wanted to give a detailed and comprehensive breakdown of not only everything I did to modify this vehicle, but also as a reference guide in case someone that's in the process for themselves is trying to figure out which way to go. Because let me tell you, there are so many options out there, and it's really hard to figure out which options are the best for you. This Ford Bronco Heritage Limited Edition is a retro-styled SUV based on the Badlands trim with distinctive features, including a 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 engine with 315 horsepower and 410 pound-foot of torque. A Haas 2.0 system with Blistine shocks, 35-inch tires, electronic locking front and rear axles, and B-lock capable 17-inch white wall wheels are some of the notable options. Other specs include the 10-speed automatic transmission, Bang & Olufsen sound system, and a unique metal Bronco fender badging from 1966. Little background on me, I've been in the custom paint world for about 27 years in Southern California, doing all sorts of different types of modifications for movie set pieces, museum vehicles, car TV shows, and private collectors. So when it comes to anything paint or aesthetic, that's where I feel at home. My goal with this Bronco was to create an iconic movie car, like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, or Herbie the Lovebug, which honestly my truck kind of looks like. Just a vehicle that would stick in your memory so that when you passed it on the road, made you feel like a kid again. Also a disclaimer, in this video, you'll see the custom paint match Sur-on, but I won't be covering any of those specs. So that'll be another video coming down the pipeline soon. Make sure you subscribe to get that notification when it does. So let's get into it. The first modification I made was adding the Ford Cargo tailgate. It's such a simple but useful modification in so many different ways. Whether you have a roof tent or dragging stuff in and out, or just want a place to sit when you're watching the surf roll in, it's very sturdy and worth whatever limitations it gives you in storage space. Second, I added the drop-down table from Ford on the back tailgate, which I absolutely love for cooking or organizing camera. All right, so for those Bronco owners looking for accessories, this table on the back, you have to drill into your tailgate to get this thing installed. I did it. I have a little bit of experience because I do work on cars, do custom paint work, but it was sketchy. I picked up Putco chrome door sills, which were easily attached with two-sided tape to the bottom, keeping the doors scratch-free. Why did I get chrome? Good question, but I think because the logo upside down there is chrome. A couple little accents, I figured it would look right. Black shows scratches too, so let's see how these things last, and I'm going to do the installation. Not bad. Kind of matches this guy. Putco makes pretty good MOLLE panels, so let's see how it lasts. I picked up some dashboard organization by Sinister Speed Shop just to keep the pens from rolling across the dashboard. Yeah, it didn't come with directions, so it goes up in here so that you can kind of use this space, because if you put really any coins or anything up here, it's just going to slide in your vents or whatever. All right, so this double-sided tape here is just this little piece that holds the two together. It's actually pretty stable. Now I can throw all my trash in the dash I added a Joby adjustable phone mount for the dash, which by the way, has a ton of different screw-in sections for different accessories, as well as charging options, which I think is incredible compared to most vehicles. I picked up a Sasquatch cup holder, which is the type of thing you usually purchase when on Amazon or eBay after midnight, so I suggest you don't do that, because then you'll end up with stuff like this. I picked up a couple center console storage containers off of Amazon. Sometimes these cheap little additions make a world of a difference, so these have held up actually very well. The other thing I'm installing tonight is these little pockets. I got one side in, has this little crossbar, I guess you could call it, that has double-sided tape everywhere. Get the last one installed here, and that'll be a wrap. So just so you can see how the back of this lines up, clips in there, double-sided tape goes there. See how this goes. The grab bars are from a company called Sukumichi, and they are measured out to fit the screw holes that are already in the Bronco, so installing them was a dream. All right, so today's install is these grab bars. I've got a couple of them already going here. So doing the install right now, and really simple. The two bolts that are on the side, they basically unscrew. I mean, this is like a 10-minute installation. This side, looking good, pretty sturdy. This side, both of them, the spacer that goes in between the grab bar and the panel is too thick, so the tread from the Allen wrench screw does not catch. So I'm going to be sanding that piece down on both the front and the back on the right side and seeing if I can get something to work and get it to catch. All right, finally done here. Grab bars in place. Right side went together like in no time, but this side, I guess the pieces were just too thick, so the little Allen screw wouldn't grab it, so I had to sand it and grind it, and it was a pain. I had an idea to match the custom dash colors with some seat covers to protect the beautiful brown leather seats. Even though I love what the brown leather looks like, I've worked on Fords long enough to know that their leather is pretty low grade. So the sooner you can cover those seats, the better. And here's a little pro tip. When a company like Ford says they're using top grain leather, it's not top leather that they're using. It's actually the top of the grain, which is the leather being cut in half, and that's usually very thin. I called up my friends over at Waco Seat Covers in Costa Mesa, and they were able to match those colors pretty accurately, as well as add a custom logo, and they got everything measured up and set up for installation within 3 weeks. Having a wetsuit material custom car seat cover is the type of thing that once you do it, you'll never own a vehicle again that doesn't have it. I've been using them for over 15 years, and it's safe to say I absolutely love them. I ordered the racing stripe from Underground Graphics, which I had my friends over at Backstreet Graphics install in Huntington Beach. Now she was starting to come alive. We've got the T30 Torx wrench right here. And these guys got to come out so that the stripe can go back there. So that's kind of a pain, but makes sense. Pretty good, kind of subtle. Most of that's going to be hidden behind the tire. Factory stripe is white. So not too distracting, but kind of breaks it up. And since there's so few Heritage Limited, hopefully it'll be the only one with this stripe pattern. After that, I took it over to my friends at Tint Plus to not only tint the windows and the windshield, but also to add some paint protection film on the headlights, along with various other pieces to prevent from rot chipping. But on these lenses here, across the hood, right, this little line, all across the grille and the lettering and this lower section, we add Tint Plus to a PPF. I also decided to get a couple of smaller pieces on the interior setup by ordering some MOLLE panels from ADD Off-Road that fit perfectly to mount all of my smaller items in the back, quick access, and also allow for storage between the rear window and the panel. All right, so an update. I'm about 45 minutes into this. The directions don't really tell you much.
You have to kind of study the pictures to really understand how these brackets mount, how it fits into your truck. So yeah, let's see if we can do it in the 2.5 hours that they allotted. All right, so I found a way to remove the rear windows. Didn't realize how easy it was. Got these things installed. I'm gonna hang some stuff on them and then put the windows back in, but it took every bit of 2.5 hours. It's a lot of kind of adjusting and moving stuff around to really get the screws in right.
For a little added protection, which I would always recommend, I added an element fire extinguisher because of its small size and versatility, putting out a variety of different fires.
One more new addition here. I got this fire extinguisher here. You just pop the top, twist the thing. It's done. It's supposed to be 50 seconds, I think. A lot more effective than most 5-pound fire extinguishers. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll never have to use it.
I also replaced the screws here with Roxworks replacement screws so that you don't have to use a star tool or Allen wrench to remove the hard top, along with adding very handy hooks for securing a load.
I'm going to be replacing all these guys with this, so that'll be a kind of a nice little upgrade. We'll see how it goes.
As well as picking up 6 Milwaukee USB rechargeable 550 lumen lights, not only for the front cabin, but also for the rear, since Bronco really has a terrible interior lighting situation. If you own one, I'm sure you know.
These things are the best answer for that. I just picked these up at Home Depot. They're magnetic, really stable. I'll show you a demo later, but it has 3 light settings, 3 different modes, and it's been an amazing addition as far as lighting the trunk space. I just picked these up since I have this blanket here blocking a light that really didn't do anything to begin with, but this is it.
I wanted to give the car some personality, so I ordered large circular magnets that I designed on Photoshop, not realizing that the body panels were not metal. Needless to say, they didn't work, so now I have giant fridge magnets. So I ordered circular sticker decals from a friend of mine's company called Gator Wraps and decided on the number 66 for a variety of different reasons. My hippie explanation was that the number 66 signified harmony after loss. I lost my dad and little sister years prior, so that felt like a solid explanation. My car guy explanation, though, was, well, it's Robin's Egg Blue, and that came out in 1966. And they only made 1,966 of these, so that was a good reason. But honestly, the real reason was just because I'm always passing the signs for Route 66 on the freeway, and that's where I stole the font, so. I loaded her up with some fun camping accessories too. I used a Covia slim stove on the rear tailgate table with fire maple cookware, a Dometic CFX 55 fridge and water pump that I honestly couldn't live without, foldable click chairs that surprisingly still haven't broken, an Ignic fire can when there's a fire ban in California or I just need to toast my buns. Also, I added a wireless Bluetooth projector by Anchor for movie nights, which is a bit extra, but I mean, come on, this is awesome. Also, this beautiful custom propane can that I custom matched to the truck, even though it makes me look like that guy we all hate. You gotta admit, it's kind of cool. All right, just did a custom little paint job to match the Bronco for my propane tank that's gonna be mounted to the side. Just got a fresh clear on it, Robin's Egg Blue. I'm gonna put a Bronco logo on it, maybe re-clear over top of it. We'll see, but kind of a cool little addition.
Okay guys, so I've got this thing painted in Robin's Egg Blue. I should have done a thinner white pinstripe because that would be a little more like the Heritage Edition, but didn't want to get too crazy on this thing. It's a propane tank after all.
As well as this Jackary power bank with 2 foldable solar panels that not only charge all of my camera accessories and the fridge during the day, but also is able to charge my electric dirt bike when I'm off grid. I also custom painted the front and rear tow hooks so that they would pop.
Today, I'm finally painting these tow hooks red. I was gonna buy some, but I'm getting a little carried away here, so I decided to just paint them red. I'll probably end up putting an aluminum skid plate on the underside here, but yeah, Sunday morning project here. All right, so I'm going with a color called Rosso Corsa. It's a Ferrari color, 300/8, I believe is the Testarossa to like Ferrari F40, F50 color. It goes to the mid 90s, so it's a little more orange rather than pink or red, which is kind of how that color switched into the 2000s. But it matches all of the Ford logos, Chevy logos, Jeep logos I use. It's all pretty much the same. Right now I'm covering primer, so it still looks a little bright, but I think it's gonna look good actually.
I'd saved enough to start doing the real modifications with my boys at Rebel Off-Road, so we put our minds to work. And we concluded that TrailRax was the best way to go for the roof rack, not only for its build quality, but also for the accessories that we were planning on putting on it, and to house all of the storage that I wanted. Once everything started coming together on the install, I decided that I wanted to add rigid lighting across the top, as well as some spotlights on the edges of the hood. Perfect not only to light the entire desert when you're camping, but also just in case someone's giving you a little trouble on the road at night, one flip of the switch and they'll never see the dark again. After much back and forth deliberation, I had decided to go with the Rome Rooftop wedge tent, mainly because it was the only one that had a front window, as well as a rack system on top of it. But I also decided to go with them because of all of their different storage accessories.
All right, so these boxes from Rome, they come with a mount, and I have them actually mounted to the MOLLE panels that are on the side. These things have been unbelievably handy. I keep my sleeping bags in here. They're watertight. I keep my propane tanks in here so they're not inside the cabin. Tent, tables, but they drop down, and if you have them mounted like this, you got another type of table system, which is really nice to have. And you can see a little close up here, these are the roof racks with the Yakima kayak attachment. Very useful. Going on the freeway, I had no shaking. My straps and everything got loose, so. Not having any type of rack system on the top really limits you, and not many of them actually come with it, which is kind of a bummer.
I ended up going with a Rinskit shower system instead of the Yakima shower system because of all of the different reports that those were very leaky and problematic. So this one had a built-in pump, was easily rechargeable, and most importantly, it didn't rust or corrode as it was made of plastic. And I also decided on adding UTV gas tanks right above the storage boxes, which ended up making the truck look like a vehicle off of Twisted Metal 2. And that made me smile. Now, getting into the suspension, the factory suspension on a Sasquatch edition was supposed to be the best, and to be honest, it's terrible. I think every time I hit a pothole, I thought I was going to fishtail. I decided to go back to Rebel Off-Road and talk to them about my suspension situation, because that was looming as the last thing that needed to get done. The only issue is, to do it right would be extremely expensive.
All right, the King's suspension is in. So Rebel gave me these coils that are gonna eventually go on the truck. I didn't want the trademark King's blue. I wanted to do red to match some of the other accents I'm putting on the truck. So as you can see from the masking paper below me, I've already started, but I'm painting these guys red before the install. So I'll let you know how it goes. I still got about 4 or 5 more coats to put on these two. Got them suspended here just for better access to the underside of it. I went with the Kings because I could order the black option, which I'll show you on the shocks as opposed to their classic blue. I changed out the tie rods because while we were there, I figured all I've read on the Bronco forums is that the tie rods are trash from the factory. So yeah, that's it.
I bit the bullet, upgrading the tire size to the KO237s, switching out the ugly factory wheels for classic 1552 white Bronco rims. Overall, it was about 5 to 6 inches of lift and completely transformed not only the look, but the ride quality on all terrain. This cost me somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000, and in retrospect, was worth every penny. I also decided to put an ARB skid plate across the bottom. Not only because I liked how the silver looked aesthetically, but to protect all of that low-quality, cheap American hardware that we know is underneath. I've been able to have some incredible adventures in this vehicle, outside of a few glitchy issues with that beautiful display and CarPlay. I've yet to see a better Bronco setup on the road during my travels, so the journey to get here was long, mostly because of the cost. But in my opinion, if you're using all of these things, you can create memories that are irreplaceable. And I'm convinced this is the best Bronco ever. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for tuning in.